You ever notice how we recharge our phones more than we recharge ourselves? This is just a reminder that you deserve rest, love, and support. Yeah, even when you're the strong one. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, please make sure you make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button. Give the bell a few kisses so you're not missing any of this content designed to help you with your mental health or help you help someone else. Today, I'm going to be reacting to God is a Weapon by Falling in Reverse featuring Marilyn Manson. So I'm really excited for this title for many reasons. I've always loved all my Falling in Reverse reactions. I've loved falling down that rabbit hole, and it has been a really long time since I've listened to anything Manson. I was never a big fan per se, but there were a few songs back in my angsty teen years that I really enjoyed. So I'm kind of excited to see what kind of delicacy they are going to create together. Before we dive into the reaction, you know on this channel we talk a lot about showing up for your mental health. And since it's Pride Month, it is time to show up fabulously, my loves. But real talk, sometimes showing up means asking for help. And let's be honest, that can feel harder than picking your outfit out for the Pride Parade. That's why I love what the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp, brings to the table. It's therapy that's tailored to you, online, affordable, and with real licensed therapists. And yes, many of them are specifically trained to support LGBTQ plus clients, so you don't have to waste time trying to find someone who shows up without judgment and makes you feel seen and supported. Whether you're processing confusing feelings, unpacking family drama, or just need someone who gets it, BetterHelp is here for it. So if you're ready to take that first step in heels or sneakers, no judgment here, head to betterhelp.com/Amanda Webster. That's betterhelp.com/Amanda Webster, or click the link in the description to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Big thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video and for showing up with the kind of energy that we love to see during Pride. Now, without further ado, let's get into this God is a Weapon, Falling in Reverse featuring Marilyn Manson.
From spinning down the rabbit hole, the deeper that you push, the deeper I will go. They said that God's a woman, I'll worship you the same, 'cause all I do is think about saying your name in vain.
I already have so much to say, and I feel like I'm going to forget it if I don't dive in. First and foremost, the wolf is actually really telling to me, really important to me, has an interesting connotation to me because wolf has always been my spirit animal. And I remember at several points during my life, like before my mom died, before my dad died, and several other big pivot points in my life, I kept having these dreams or almost these visions during the day when I closed my eyes of this wolf that was being aggressive toward me, like growling, almost trying to warn me of what was to come. And I did have premonitions when I was younger. I know that might sound kind of crazy, but I had premonitions when I was younger that came true, like things there's no way I could have known, and I eventually shut them off. But I was never afraid of a wolf, and I know that wolves are not aggressive by nature. They don't attack humans unless they feel threatened or cornered, or they feel like their young are in danger. So just that was a really interesting visual for me. But these lyrics are dripping with the intensity of someone who's been cracked open both by love and belief, maybe even someone who's confused the two. And that line, they say that God's a woman, I'll worship you the same. I think that that could reflect the way we sometimes project our need, our desire for divine connection onto human relationships. And I think especially when we felt abandoned, when we felt betrayed by traditional faith, this gal right here, I know a lot of you have experienced that too. It's like saying, if God didn't save me, maybe you can save me. Maybe you can be my salvation. There's this hunger for it. We're starving for that safety, that awe, that something bigger than the pain, or at least an explanation for the pain, a reason that pain exists. And it kind of sounds like it's being redirected toward a person almost desperately. And it's not just love, it's devotion with all of the risk, all of the surrender that that implies. And the saying your name in vain, that last line there, that's guilt, it's longing, it's resentment, maybe even rebellion. And I think that that was Manson who had the gun in his mouth. I think that that was him. It just looked like the lower part of his face from what I remember. And us 90s kids saw Marilyn Manson as like the poster child of rebellion. So I think that there was definitely a hint of rebellion in that line. I think it was all tangled up though. In that one line, all of those different things were tangled up, but it's uncomfortable. It's raw. It's real. That's exactly why it works. I also noted the fact that the upper part of his face is in shadows, almost like he's blind, almost like he is not able to see the truth. Yeah!
My halo's just a hole. Deeper that I get inside you, the deeper you will fall. Say that God's a weapon, well I'm a hand grenade. Try to take this ring from me, watch me detonate. You might as well bury me.
Okay, before it goes on, I just, oh my gosh. The symbology here is brilliant. Like the scales of the judgment, there's the, just so much anger. There's so much anger. And I honestly feel like religion that was meant to be loving, that was meant to bring people together, really has been weaponized. It divides people, it separates people, it causes people to disown their own children, it causes people to go to war. I think that in many ways that God is a weapon, and he's talking about how if God's a weapon, I'm a hand grenade. I think that's, I'm fighting back against that. And oh, he still got it. Like I said, I never listened to a lot of Manson, but I always did think that he was very powerful. This honestly sounds like a poetic exorcism of everything you weren't allowed to say out loud growing up in a shame-based system, which I know that that is going to be spicy for a lot of people to hear, but that's what religion tends to be in the way that a lot of people practice it. It doesn't have to be, but a lot of people practice it in a way that it becomes very shame-based. And this is sensual, it is sacrilegious, but it's like a steeping, it's like a steeping truth tea. Like it's a confessional, ironically. And my halo's just a hole. I think that that's one of those lines that really makes you pause. It really makes you go, because it says so much with so little. It's like, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be good enough, but the damage is showing. And that just gave me goosebumps because I remember I grew up Baptist. I grew up very, very devoutly religious, and I never felt good enough, ever, ever, when I was a person of faith. And I tried to go to different churches and look into different faiths and religion over the years, and I always felt like, why can't I be good enough for God? And you know what? You know what? I feel that enough from people. I feel that enough in my day-to-day life. I feel that enough from toxic relationships. I don't need to feel that from the person who's supposed to love me unconditionally. And I think that there's, of course, some sexual undertones throughout here, but they don't feel cheap. They don't feel gratuitous. It's like they feel like a reclaiming of power. That's what this is to me, is a reclaiming of power. Like someone who's been taught their body is shameful, finally saying, no, no, this is holy too. This is something to be proud of. And that you might as well bury me. I think that's the death wish to the earlier marriage proposal of "Marry Me." That's the vibe I get. It's gritty, it's emotional, it's unapologetically messy, just like healing from religious trauma tends to be. Trust me, I know. And I've talked to quite a few mental health professionals, and healing from religious trauma is often treated like the treatment plan is very similar to someone leaving an abusive relationship. So someone that's leaving an evangelical religion, a shame-based religion like this, which again a lot of them are, someone who is really steeped in that, they have to treat that the same as an abusive relationship because of all the damage it has done to a person's self-esteem and self-worth. I don't even have words for that. That was the perfect blend, truly. Like, that was a match, ironically, made in what's the atheist version of heaven. I really questioned, does this have a genre? Because I think that it just captured the best parts of a bunch of different genres and just mushed them all together. And it was beautiful, beautiful. I know that Marilyn got sober a while back, and holy cow, it shows. His vibe is still haunting like it's always been, but in a pure way, somehow, in a pure way. Like, he grew up and he healed. And again, there's still a lot of symbology going on through this, like all of the swords around him, all of the battle going on. There's a line in the Da Vinci Code where Lee Teabing says, as long as there's been one true God, there's been killing in his name. And I think that that is really telling about this video, where it's this battlefield, you know, where people are just dying and they're kissing in the middle of it. They're trying to stay in that love and that connection. Again, it goes back to finding divinity in the human relationships, but there's just so much anger and so much destruction, and it's just heartbreaking. But as for Ronnie, I feel like I've grown up with him since starting down this rabbit hole. I think that he gets more honest with every song. Not that he was ever inauthentic, but it just feels more honest, more raw in some way. Like, he grew up also and stopped pretending to be somebody he wasn't. I felt like in the earlier stuff, it was almost like he was very slightly holding back, and now it's just nope, not holding back at all. There were the chains in there where people felt chained up. They felt like they were being tattooed, like one after another. That kind of felt like the idea that everyone's just kind of the same, like everyone's expected to almost be the same, to conform to this perfect little caricature of what we're supposed to be in God's eyes. But I feel like his range really keeps surprising me. Like, it expands a little more every time also. I think that this could absolutely be the anthem for people who've felt punished for loving too much. This is really ironic that this ended up being one of my Pride Month reactions, but for people who felt punished for loving too much, for loving too deeply, for loving the wrong people or in the wrong way according to someone's doctrine, according to this doctrine that, again, was written by man. I've said that before on the channel. But if God is a woman, then God is a weapon. I think that that's not just a lyric, that's a whole thesis on the way that religion can twist desire into guilt. It can turn worship into war. That was a really, really that was a really heavy 3 minutes and 35 seconds. There's so many messages there, but I think that this is a really amazing song for those of us that have been traumatized and hurt by religion. I know the song's not gonna be for everybody. I know this reaction's not gonna be for everybody. I know that I'll probably lose some subscribers, one for supporting Pride, two for being an atheist, and that's fine. I really hope that we can see that we're all on our own journeys, and I don't have anything against someone believing in the God or deity of their choice. I have a problem when they use that to create divide. I have a problem when they use that to be homophobic, which I actually kind of hate that word because scared of gay people. Like, what are we doing here? But when they use it to segregate, when they use that to make certain segments of the population, be it people of color, be it women, be it LGBT individuals, when they make them less than, when they make it to where they are superior in some way because of their faith or because of their values. And I understand that there obviously are some people who have done really terrible things, but it was my understanding when I was a Christian that we are all children of God, and yeah, maybe some of us have lost our way, and I don't think that a lot of these things that they're trying to really drill down on as being wrong, I don't agree that they are in fact wrong. I think there's some things obviously we can all agree on, like murder or infidelity, things like that. We can all agree that those are morally wrong. But I think that there's a lot of ways that religion is pushing people away, and it's pushing people away from finding that explanation that they're looking for, that love, that connection that they're looking for. We can have that with ourselves. We can have this divine connection with each other, or something greater out there. We can connect to the universe. We can name that a billion different things, and that's beautiful if our heart's in the right place, if we have the right intent. So this video is not meant to ostracize anyone in my community. Again, if you are a person of faith, I hold space for you. I love you. I hope that that serves you. I hope that you're using that to serve others and not to push others away. But I think that this is a really good opportunity. We've never really had this opportunity on the channel to specifically talk about religious trauma or to talk about what religion has brought to the table for you. So I think there's two different conversations to have here. I humbly ask that you hold space for both in the comments, but good, bad, and crazy, make sure you're sharing your mental health stories here in the comments. That's how we shatter the stigma, is by talking about it. And this is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for us to come together. Prove me wrong here, you know, that religion can be so divisive. Let's come together and discuss this in a loving, empathetic way. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon. Mwah!